Okay, I made a mistake already in the first video. Kara was not taken. That when the master jailer took that little professor dude, she was not taken. She was just chained. Just letting it out there. Anyway, back at the Catco company, like Cat pretty much has a little, not really a heart-to-heart, but like a mini talk with James about Maxwell. You know, she's like telling her experience as a journalist and all that stuff, and telling like that journalists tell the truth not because they want to become good journalists, but because they want to be good people. And because of that, James later on goes to the DO to talk some sense into Kara by making Maxwell prove her wrong. And Kara then turns around and asks James if Lucy knew about the DEO, only to learn from James that Shoban, I can't even pronounce her name. Shoban was the one who found out, and tells her to be careful of Shoban because something's suspicious about her. I can't even talk because my nose. I am so sorry. But anyway, Alex interrupts them all and informs Kara that the master jailer is Detective Warren, but we all know he's not. But anyway, as they arrive and confront Warren, Draper comes out of nowhere and pretty much shoots Warren down. Well, not really come out of nowhere, he was with Warren, but he shoots Warren down and reveals himself to be the master jailer. I knew it. And when Alex comes to, she discovers that Kara, during the whole scuffle, was taken by the master jailer and is now his prisoner. And Kara is pretty much placed in a cell that basically strips her of all her powers using pretty much a red light that pretty much mimics the red sun, hence red light. But anyway, Kara starts talking to the professor who was apparently a prisoner from Fort Ross. And Kara finds out that the only reason why this poor little professor was put into jail is because he was convicted of drug dealing. But like the only reason why he was drug dealing was just because he needed the money to help his sick wife, and he wanted to change his life afterwards. So basically, he wanted to change his life after the drug dealing and all that stuff, but by the time he wanted to repent, Allura, which is Kara's mother, pretty much sent him to jail anyway. And so she sympathizes with him, you know? It's not much of a crime. Yes, he was a drug dealer, but he did it to try to help his wife out. That's not really a really bad thing, honestly. He did it for good reason, but he went about it the wrong way. Just saying. Anyway, the jailer prepares to execute him, and he informs Kara that she's going to be the next one for trying to interfere and all that stuff. And Alex later discovers that the jailer basically was a Fort Ross prison guard. That's why he basically knows all the prisoners' numbers and all that shit. And they're able to pinpoint his location to some sort of cabin. And although it seemed empty when they arrived, Alex pretty much discovers that the cabin is actually a cover that's basically his ship underneath the cabin. And as the jailer prepares to execute the prisoner, Alex arrives from the ceiling to rescue Kara, leading a fight between Alex and the jailer while Alex starts shooting the roof with her gun to get some sunlight to Kara so she can reclaim some of her powers just in time to finish off the jailer for good and help out Alex and rescue that poor little prisoner. As they return the prisoner back to the college, you know, they let him go. Kara and Alex decide reluctantly to let Maxwell Lord go as well. And Alex, I don't think Supergirl heard this, but Alex pretty much warns Maxwell that if he reveals anything about the DEO or Supergirl, the DEO will pretty much send the police enough information to pretty much send his ass to prison. Which is amazing how, like, no matter what, Alex is seemingly, like, going behind the scenes and secretly doing shit like this. Like, she kills Astra, she lets Hank, even though reluctantly, she lets Hank take the blame, and while Kara's not around, pretty much threatens, Maxwell Lord. It's just, Alex, she's, like, secret spy, dangerous type of person, man. It's just crazy. But anyway, the following morning at Catco, we see Kara actually snap back at Shaban, which I think is like the funniest thing in the whole freaking world. And Shaban basically tells Kara that her real life goal was to become the next Cat Grant because she admires Cat Grant from going from nothing to like this big media empire, and she wants to be just like her. And basically challenges Kara, saying like, you know, she's gonna be the assistant staying, not her, not Kara. And it's like, Kara Siobhan is like that one person you really love to hate. It is just, she's the only human person right now in this whole entire show that I'm actually starting to seriously hate. And she's human. For Christ's sake, man. Anyway, besides Cat's kind of being unruly and bitchy, but Siobhan is worse. But anyway, Kara in time pretty much thanks James for being ethical about Maxwell Lord, and like James tells Kara that, you know, James was caught in a lie with Lucy, and he doesn't want to be like that anymore. He wants to tell the truth to Lucy that Kara is actually Supergirl. And he tells Kara, you know, if he tells Lucy about Kara's real identity, it'll be able to help him fix the wrongdoings, like his lying to Lucy. And I understand that he wants to do that. He wants to be in a relationship with Lucy without lies and all that shit. But honestly, it's not really his secret to tell. I mean, it's her secret identity, not... It's like a double-edged sword for me, like a double-sided coin, double-edged sword and all that for me, because although I do sympathize with James wanting to come clean with Lucy and not lie to her anymore and be in like a truthful relationship, Kara's secret identity as Supergirl is not his secret to tell, it's Kara's. So, it's a double-edged sword in my opinion, honestly. But anyway, Kara, she returns back to the DO to speak to that AI image of her mom to ask about Myriad, because remember, she learns about Myriad from Alex and Hank, only to see like the AI starts acting a bit strange, to the point where it actually threatens itself to self-destruct if it keeps asking about Myriad. And Jean shuts down the device, and you know, Kara is like not happy for Jean for doing anything for that matter, and Kara pretty much says she does not want to work with him. And yeah, this episode is all kinds of feels right now, because oh yeah, Siobhan Smythe, I forgot, Siobhan, I looked up that name because it sounded familiar. Siobhan Smythe, that name was found in the New 52, but Siobhan Smythe, before the New 52, her name was actually Siobhan Madoggle, I don't know. But Siobhan in general, whether it's Madoggle or the New 52 Smythe, is actually the real name to comic book supervillain known as Silver Banshee! That's why I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? Like, that weird-ass name that I could never pronounce sounded so familiar, and I was like, where have I heard this? But anyway, she only had one team affiliation, which is called the Society, and her abilities are superhuman speed, durability, and strength of 10 men. She has hypersonic screams, hypersonic screeches. Her sonic abilities also allow her to teleport via sound waves. She has perfect fluency in any language just from hearing the few words, which is like freaking crazy. So like, yeah, Silver Banshee, Siobhan, we actually got to meet for the first time ever before, apparently before, I'm only guessing before she ever turns into Silver Banshee, we see Siobhan, you know? So it's really interesting that we actually got a character, a supervillain from a very well-known supervillain, actually, Silver Banshee. I've known her a lot in the Justice League animation show, so it's really cool to actually see her in live action, and I'm only guessing her life before she turns into Silver Banshee, because so far she doesn't show any sign of some sort of powers similar to Silver Banshee, although she's annoying as hell. But anyway, yeah, this episode was quite interesting. It's cool to see, like, two characters from the comics actually brought in, Master Jailer and Silver Banshee. Master Jailer in his Master Jailer outfit, Silver Banshee before apparently she's Silver Banshee. And the fact that I don't think it was a good idea to let Maxwell Lord go, but I understand the whole meaning behind it, especially when Kara met that Fort Ross prisoner who was a college professor. I can understand why the parallels to that, honestly. I understand it, but I still don't trust Maxwell Lord. No one does. And I'm really curious on what the hell Myriad is. I know you guys are too, so The next one will most likely be episode 15, which is Solitude, which premiered, I want to say, on the 29th of February. But anyway, I'll see you guys for that one. Bye, BootTube.